Hey, what's up, Love Everlasting family? What are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are good. I decided to record another video, just kind of giving an update on what's been going on, since I haven't been, last time I was here, it was like 6 months ago. So, yes, kind of update. Uh, After I finished filming, I was actually in the process of getting ready to go back to school. I'm not currently, but I was in college. So I was doing my associates for hospitality and event management, and I was planning on graduating. I was planning on graduating this December, but some things happened, and my daughter ended up having an accident, ended up in the hospital, and so I ended up taking my summer classes. I had several classes set up, but I decided to drop them and just take care of my daughter, spend time with her. Luckily, she's okay. She's great, but I won't go into too much detail. Because I don't want a lot of people worrying, hey, um, but I just want to make sure she's my number one priority, and right now she's okay. She's doing better. She's um she's definitely there's still some kind of issues, but I mean it's more mentally, and she's just working through them, and it's a slow progress. But that was that. With January through May, I was in school. I was doing classes, and I had like 4 classes, so I was very busy. I didn't, and then also on top of homeschooling them, trying to keep up with my daughter's private school classes, my son's classes, and it was a lot. So I did. So I did take a break for a little bit. Didn't really have time to film. So that's what happened. In February, my dad's birthday. My dad passed away last year from colon cancer, but we still, in February every year, his birthday's February 22nd, and we always celebrate with a cake and just wish him happy birthday. Like that's just I'm always gonna keep doing that. And then March was my daughter's accident at the end of that March. But like I said, she's doing better. So it's just a mental workaround, just from her, trying not to get her to remember what happened. Trying to like all the things that happened with her. Just trying to help her through those, because it's definitely a struggle. I mean, at least with me too. Remembering what happened. So, but I'm just glad she's okay and she's doing good, and she's happy. So, and then in April was her birthday. She turned 7, and we just had a party. She had a spa party. She had a party with all her girlfriends, like all her little girls from church and some girls from like when from like kind of outside. Like she has like this best friend who she met when she was doing pageants, and they just become best friends. And so we invited her too, and invited some kids from school, and it was so much fun. And then May was her end of year. We were trying to end school in my classes, end her classes, and so that's what we did. And then in June, we did summer camp. We did a gym summer camp. It was next to my daughter's micro school. They have a kids gym, and so the kids gym did summer camp there, and so we did a few classes there. But as we were going forward, we decided, well, in July, we decided to start back at school. So we've kind of cut the summer camp and just started back at school, and that's what we've been doing so far. And then she starts at her micro school on August 11th. So it'll be an adventure. So that's kind of where I've been at this summer. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna have classes again in the fall. I'm still kind of working through that and to see, because I know fall semester's coming up at the end of this year. End of August, like the end of August, for my college classes. So I mean, I haven't set up any yet, but I don't know. I'm gonna kind of figure it out in this next week and see what I'm gonna do. But someone mentioned to me about the micro school. So my daughter's micro school and how that came to be, and kind of what it entails. So how that all started was, I guess, take it back to the beginning. So like I said in the beginning, I started homeschooling my daughter when she was 2, and we did the all-in-one homeschooling. It was a free curriculum online. So we started that when she was 2. Then when she was 3, we did Abeka. And then at 4 years old, we found the private school. So we did that. And then we also tried to do some online learning. Like there was another class. I can't think of the name. I forgot the name of the other one, but there was another school that she was attending as well that was online, like with the teacher, but I didn't really like that one. So we just held on to like the private school, and we just did that, and we did her work, and then she had an assessment every so often with her teacher, just to kind of go over what she's been working on and how she's progressing. And it was so we did that when she was 4. She was in kindergarten, and then first grade by 5 years old, and then at 6 she was starting 2nd grade, and now she's 7 starting 3rd. And I think now we kind of stopped the private school because she wasn't really picking up the reading like they wanted her to. And so, and I was fine with that. She's gonna learn her reading on her own, and she doesn't know how to read every single word, but I mean, at least she's getting the hang of it. Like she's starting to read a few words here and there. So she really likes reading books, and she'll try to read you any book she can. There's a reading program with the library, and she's working on that right now. But going back to the micro school, so when she turned 6, I believe last summer, we decided to we were gonna think about doing public school at first, and we got her. We didn't get her enrolled in public school. We got her an IEP. We tried to get her IEP set up, and the way they did it in public school, they're like, well, she doesn't need that many services. Like she needs only an aide, like 1 hour a week for services, and they were gonna try to put her in generalized class, and I was like, no, it's not how it's gonna. So I decided from there that I was just gonna keep her, because I was debating whether to put her back in private, or keep her, or switch her over to public. But I'm like, I decided, public's not the route. If they're not gonna give her the services she needs, then we're not gonna do it. So, and let's see, 5. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That was when she attended. That was when she was 5. I'm sorry, because I remember because we got her and we switched to. It's when her private school started switching over because it went from when she was in kindergarten. It was Calvert Academy. That was a private school, and then it switched over to Imagine Learning, Excellence Academy, and that was at 5 years old. And then I was trying to get her to attend, with their peers, and they would not give me the accommodations. And then we switched over to, we started with the new private school, and I gave her the information that the public school gave us, like the IP and everything. And you know what? And I kid you not, they gave her all the services that I requested for her to have. Even though they couldn't take, I gave them her IP, but they couldn't, like, I guess, go off her IP for her accommodations, but they were able to give her accommodations, which is really great. And they helped her learn the way she needed to learn. But going forward, because she was going to go from 2nd to 3rd, but they felt with her being in 2nd grade and her reading, it was just not there. And so they wanted, I essentially think they were going to try to pull her back and put her back in 2nd grade. And I'm not one to repeat things. And so, I mean, that's just me. I mean, because I think I repeated 3rd grade now, and I didn't like it. But, I mean, because sometimes it is for people, but sometimes not. But when I went into, like, the Master Books curriculum, when I looked at that for her 3rd grade, it worked. I think it worked out that we just did not finish with the private school because Master Books is starting to work for her on that grade level. But anyhow, so we started at her private school at 5, and then it's the following year. So when she was 6, that summer, so what was it, 2025. So the summer of 2025, we found out about this new micro school opening up. And we did not, we were already planning on attending the private school again. And that's what we were going to stick with for the year. We were not thinking about changing. And then until we saw, and then because like the micro school, we found out about that, after we had already, planned on setting her up for private school. So I was like, all right, let's just try the private school route and then also the micro school at the same time and just see how it goes. But at the time, I kind of wish I didn't, because it was a lot. It was putting a lot of strain on me financially with the funding of everything. Not saying I had to pay, kind of out of pocket, but it's like, I lost a lot of my funding through, with the scholarship, through having to pay private school because it was almost $1,000. And then also trying to pay my weekly tuition with the micro school. So, but I'm glad that we're doing now the Master Books because it seems like a lot better. But the micro school started building like last summer, and they were, so I'm on I guess on Facebook. There's, you can go on Facebook and find all your community pages and what have you. And we have a community page for our area, and the director, the school teacher, I guess his wife had, sent a message, hey, we're looking for a place for our school, our micro school, and so, and luckily they found a place, and that's kind of how it came to be. So when they found a place, then they were able to set up and everything, and I was able to talk to them and sit and talk with them. I don't know if I was one of the first ones, but I got there before when they were setting up school and just talking to them like how everything's going to be. And this was her first time at that time this was gonna be her first like classroom experience, and being with other kids, and it was just a lot different. And I was very nervous because I was like, she's never been, this long away from her mom, in that type of setting. Because we've always, because she had been at home with mom like for the first 5 years of her life, and now she's 6 and she's going to school, and I'm like not knowing what's happening, but it was very nervous at first, but as soon as she got kind of used to it, she's like, oh, I like this place, and so we kept going with it, and she's just loved it ever since. But it is the micro school is it's kind of built in a commercial building, and at first they were doing like STEAM projects, and the micro school is like an all day thing, so it's like 8:30 to 3:30, and at first they were doing STEAM projects, then they were gonna get because they were waiting to set up with tablets because they wanted to do this program called IXL. And so that's what they did for the year. But they also did worksheets, so they don't always do IXL. And then I had just recently talked to the micro school, and we were discussing that over 4th of July and asking, if they were going to continue that. And he said, you know what, it's not. It's nice to have, but at the same time, you don't want to always like stick them in technology. You want to be able to like do one-on-one with them and like, help them with their work and try to interact with them, and because if you just see on a tablet doing the work that way, it's not as I don't know how to explain it. It's not as communicative because you're not giving that one-on-one attention. You're not giving the attention to the kids because they're having to school through the tablet rather than. So, but the IXL was helpful because they did give like record of like where they were at. Like, hey, you're at this level for like math, or you're at this level for like reading. They would give you like the different levels you were at. So it's really nice. But where I'm at in Central Florida, you either have co-ops or you have like the micro schools. And so far, most of the micro schools that I have seen are more of a like outdoors. They're not really made for like classrooms. And so, but micro schools are more based on kind of drop-off locations where you can like send your kid and hey, they learn this way. They learn with the individual teachers, and then you can still teach them at home. But, they also learn from another individualized teacher. Compared to co-ops. Co-ops are more, you teach your kids at home, and then when you have like electives, that's when co-ops come in and hey, you do the electives with the co-ops. So you don't do like your actual math, reading, science, history. You do just like your electives, like sewing or basketball or archery, or the different elective parts. Which my daughter doesn't have. With the micro school, they don't do electives. They just kind of teach the math, reading, science, and history. So they don't do any sort of electives. Well, I can't say that. So they may do electives, but not. I don't think everyone does. For example, ours, it's not really elective, but it's like gym. So ours does, the micro school that I'm with, or that my daughter's with, they do gym. So they do gym twice a week. With like I said, there's a kids gym like right down, like a couple doors down from the micro school, and so they do they do gym there, and then they also do recess like whenever I don't know when they do it, but they have recess there, and they have lunch at the school. You bring your lunch, but yeah, the micro school is more like another schooling type building you can go to, and you can get schooling that way. And so my biggest thing was I was talking to the director of the school, that because I don't know how these parents work it with the micro school, because the micro school is not considered private school, but it's not considered like an umbrella school. So as a homeschool in Florida, there's situations where you have to, once the kid turns 6, you have to be either A, enrolled under the county as a homeschooler, and then you do evaluations. 2, you go under an umbrella school. You enroll as an umbrella school student. Or 3, you do it as like a private student. So I was telling the director, I said, well, I'm not doing private anymore, so I'm not considered a private student anymore. So my daughter has to either A, go under the county, or B, she has to do umbrella school. Well, we finally figured out that he can be under umbrella school, but I have to kind of pay out of pocket to do, like, be under his umbrella school, which is fine by me, because it's but we were talking about like the other parents, like, is that I'm not bashing other parents, but I mean, like, it'd be interesting to see like what other parents, because when you're thinking about a micro school, they think, oh, okay, they're getting their education, but they're not really thinking the legality of it. I feel like the parents they're just throwing their kids at school, and it's like, okay, are we being legal about it? Are we because I mean, technically they're homeschoolers. Like, when they're in the micro school, they're considered homeschoolers. But the thing is, are they registered homeschoolers? That's the thing. And I always question about that. I'm like, but it's none of my business, like, if they are registered or not. But it was always like on my mind, like, how do these teachers, like, if they're teaching like homeschoolers, like, how do they justify like the legality of it, and like make sure the homeschoolers are legally homeschooled, so, but yeah, but yes, this will be my daughter's 2nd year at the micro school. It's been fun for her, and they do field trips every now and again. They've been trying to every month during the school year to try to do field trips. So and then they do, but this past year they were doing IXL, and then they was doing STEAM in the beginning, and then IXL, and then some worksheets too on top of that. But I think he's going to kind of change it up. I don't know what he's going to be doing this year, but we'll see. But I just wanted to share about that. But my daughter the school is called Infinity Inclusion Micro School, if anybody wants to check it out. And that's where she goes. But I hope, and the director also does tutoring. So if anybody needs tutoring for math or reading or any other subject, he's up to have you. So if anybody's in the Florida area, check him out, and that'd be cool to see some new faces. So, but I just want to share that, and hope that kind of clarifies everything, and hope that kind of keeps you guys updated on everything. And I don't know what my next video is going to be about yet, but I am going to start getting down ideas. But I just wanted to hop on and give an update, because it's been a while since I've been here. So, but thank you guys for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. like, subscribe, share it if you want to. Would love to get some more followers. And hopefully you guys have a great day. God bless. Bye.